In this video, we're going to look at a jar file. What is a jar file and why would you use it? Now remember, in the last video, we were looking at a class path and what that means. This page from Oracle explains the class path, and you can see it specifies a list of directories, that's what we've been working on, or jar files, or zip files. Now, a jar file is nothing more than a zip file anyway. It's a PK zip file, and it contains a series of classes. Remember, Java runs classes, so everything you put in the class path is a series of classes, whether it's in a directory or it's in a jar file. If I open up this jar file, take a look. What do you see? A whole series of classes. And notice too that the namespace is shown here. And in fact, these are actually folders too. So you can see the structure and the relationships we've been talking about. And indeed, when you run java.exe or the binary on Linux, it is going to, when you give it the class path, find whatever jar, if you gave it a jar file, it's going to read through each of these and find out which class you want if you've mentioned it in your Java code. Now separately, you have something called a manifest, and this comes inside a jar file. And notice what you see here. It will give you some overview information of what's involved in this particular package. And sometimes every class is listed, but not always. And to demonstrate the purpose and the use of a jar file, I'm going to clear off my screen. Let's go into our com company folder. We'll do a directory, and I'm going to enter the command to create a jar file. Now before we do that, if we look on page 618 of this book here, notice what a jar file is, what its purpose is. It lets you bundle tons and tons of classes together so that you don't have to distribute tons and tons of individual files. You can distribute one, but all they contain essentially is a series of classes. And so what we're attempting to do here is create our own package, our own jar file that just contains our single Java code in it, our file. So what you do is you do a -v for verbose, C to create, F to create a file. This is the file we're going to create. And then E will create a manifest, and then what that will do is it will look for look for company, find the howdy class, and then look for the main method in it and run whatever's in there. That's what E will do. And then we have to give it the name of our class. Now we could, if we had many classes, do a star, but we just have one, so we're just going to type that. And notice we get an error message. If I hit dir, we did get a jar file, but we have an error, so this isn't what we need. Let's delete howdy.jar. Also notice, by convention, classes are capitalized, but jar files needn't be. And once again, the solution to this is just as simple as backing out two directories and rerunning the jar command. And now we'll do a dir, and there's our howdy.jar. If I open up this folder, take a look, I have inside this jar file, I can open that in 7-zip because remember, it is just a zip archive. Go into go into company, there's my class, and we now created this meta-inf, that's what the E did, and now I can open up our manifest, and sure enough, there's our main class right there. It's inside company howdy, so it's going to find the main method in that class. That's what main dash class means. So we just made this jar file executable, and that's interesting because now to run that, you can do java-jar and type in howdy.jar. There we go, we get the output, but unlike before, take a look at this, I can move that file into wherever I want. Say I go into that new folder, and unlike before, again, what we could not do before was just simply sort of run our code from wherever. It had to be in the right path. Look at this, now I can run it from anywhere now.